Good morning. I wanted to revisit the 8-inch bench grinder with light. Demonstrate the light before I start to work because it does mess up the camera. Recommend you put an LED bulb in this, or at best a compact fluorescent. If you put an incandescent in here, this will get so hot you can't touch it. It will actually burn you. I use the light a lot. Problem is it messes up the camera. So if you remember when I bought this and did the first video, this wheel is messed up. You can see how that wobbles. So you can't sharpen a knife on there. I've been trying to decide what to do about this messed up wheel. So I went and bought an 8-inch crimped brass wire wheel. I think this was about $12 or $15. It's been a year, so I really don't remember. I think they also have a steel wheel. You can see that wobble in that wheel now. That one thankfully is straight. So this will make it a lot more versatile to use. I'll tell you from painful experience, stay away from the wire. It will cut your fingers. So what I'm going to do is take this off and mount it on this side since that one's messed up anyway. Of course, using my Harbor Freight free screwdrivers. That's a normal thread. Got this big arbor plate. And there's the wheel. Comes with these inserts. It's got like a universal fit adapter here. And you put these inserts on each side to center it. That along with the arbor plates will hold it in there. These I think are more just to get it in the right place. These are what's going to clamp against that, hold it in place. It's 32 5/8. Well, I say it's 5/8, but that shaft is 5/8, and they don't fit. So let's get the other 5/8 and see if it will want any easier. Well, that was great. It broke going on. It's because it's the wrong size. It's not a 5/8. Like I said, that's just the center. I'm not going to worry about it. Just need to get it on there centered, and I think even broken it'll center it. Kind of strange because you have to grab a hold of this to center it, and that's not going to be very fun. Luckily, I have my 20-year-old Harbor Freight welding gloves. I grabbed that just fine. That one's going on. That other one messed up. So I'll put the arbor plate back on. I don't want to over tighten this. It just makes it harder to get off the next time. So now I have an extra wheel. I posted a video a couple of weeks ago when it was 105 out with the heat index. Today it's looking to be about the same thing. It's about 80% humidity. It's only 80 degrees, but as it gets hotter, the humidity will drop, but it won't be any less uncomfortable. So to me, this looks like 3/4 inch, 1 inch, 1/2 inch, and the labels agree with that. So be careful when you do this. That broke incredibly cheap, but I don't know what I expected. to take this off. I got to take this inner arbor flange off. I'm going to take off this mount. It's actually a very well made mount. I'm going to put all of these screws back in because I don't want to lose them. I'll do the same on the mount. I'll probably put this mount on my other grinder, the older grinder, if the bolt up is universal. These flange pieces are specific. This is the inner and this is the outer. And while I was here, I was kind of experimenting with this arbor. If I hold the flange plate against that, once a turn it wobbles. I put it on last time, I broke this, but it'll still work as a placeholder. It's just a placeholder to keep the wheel centered until I put the outer flange plate on. That's what actually holds it in place. So about half works. I'm going to be smart and put on this glove. And about half works. It's half there, so that makes sense until you get the second plate on. Get this outer one on. Just gotta muscle it in there. And that is still got a bad wobble in it. So I'll put the outer plate on. So that's staying in place with just 1.5 of the spacers. And I clamp this on, clamping it between the two arbor plates. It's going to hold it in. Get off too soon. I don't know if you guys could hear that, but when I put that screwdriver against that, I kept hearing a ting back over behind it. It was throwing off some of those. Steel wires. I want to put this back together so that I keep all the pieces together until I want to use it again. Like I said, I'll probably put it on my other grinder. I actually would have liked to have kept this on. I don't think it would provide much protection from sparks or anything else like that. I think it would be less likely to get your fingers in those steel wires. As you probably know, that is brass wire, but it's brass coated steel. And if you look at that real close, it took no more effort than to me put a screwdriver on there, and the ends of these now show bare steel. So as time goes by, it's entirely possible that they will start rusting. Of course, the nature of what it is, just use it for a second or two and the rust will be gone. So I have an extra wheel and an extra shield. So see if I can find something rusty to put against it. There's an old pipe flare tool. Picked this up for literally nothing. So let's see how it does. You can see that I can. So skinned that down pretty good. Take a little bit more time to get it looking a lot better, but you see the basis of what it can do. a lot of noise, a lot of vibration, but it's not mounted to anything. And I was on this before it went up to full speed, and I can actually put enough force on this to stop the motor. Let's take a look and see. Most of the ends have steel showing. And since I mounted this on my 8-inch and the other one I have is also a 5/8, I'm going to get rid of these. There's no reason to keep these. Okay, so 8-inch crimp brass wire wheel. I think it's a good addition to the grinder. Make it be a little more versatile. I don't use the grinder a whole lot. Okay, so my initial review would be very positive. Goes together okay. The mount braking is not a great thing. But as long as you have one of them, you can get it mounted and centered enough to get the arbor flanges on. Once you get the arbor flanges on, it's going to work just fine. So if you like the videos, please subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.